The skin that remembers. The snow fell in heavy sheets across the desolate expanse of rural Vermont, blanketing the skeletal remains of North Haven Asylum in a shroud of white. It was December 14th, 2025, and the air was a biting 15°C, the wind howling through the broken windows of the abandoned psychiatric hospital like a chorus of anguished screams. Laura Grayson, a 31-year-old freelance journalist with a sharp jawline, dark brown eyes, and a tangle of black hair pulled into a messy bun, stood at the rusted entrance gate, her breath fogging in the frigid air. She adjusted the strap of her camera bag, her gloved hands trembling not just from the cold, but from the oppressive weight of the place. North Haven had been sealed since 1962, its history of festering wound in the region's memory, a site of experimental treatments in the 1950s, where doctors performed lobotomies, electroshock therapy, and a gruesome procedure known as skin therapy, peeling the flesh from patients to purge their sins, leaving them to die in agony, their screams absorbed into the very walls of the asylum. Laura was no stranger to the dark. Her YouTube channel, Grayson's Ghosts, had 200,000 subscribers, drawn to her fearless investigations into the paranormal, haunted prisons, abandoned mansions, forgotten cemeteries. She'd spent nights in places that would break most people, her voice steady as she narrated the history of the damned, her camera capturing shadows that shouldn't exist. But North Haven was different. The air here was thick, heavy with a metallic tang, like blood mixed with rust, and the silence was suffocating, broken only by the creak of the building's bones and the distant howl of the wind. She'd heard the rumors, screams in the walls, apparitions of patients with flayed skin, and the story of Nurse Edith Crow, who in 1958 was found in Ward 13, her skin stripped clean by a patient, her body a raw, bleeding husk. Her death so horrific that the asylum was shut down a year later. Laura was here to film a documentary, to spend the night in Ward 13, to uncover the truth behind the whispers. She pushed through the gate, her boots crunching on the frozen ground, and stepped inside, the darkness swallowing her whole. The main hall was a cavern of decay. Peeling paint hung in strips from the walls, revealing cracked concrete beneath, the floor littered with broken glass, rusted medical tools, and fragments of old patient records, their ink faded but still legible names, dates, procedures, all stained with dark, crusty smears. The air was damp, thick with the scent of mold and something fouler, something alive, a stench that clung to the back of her throat, metallic and sour, like rotting meat. Graffiti covered the walls, scrawled in frantic, jagged lines. There, still here, don't look at the walls, and one phrase, scratched deep into the concrete, that made her stomach lurch. The skin remembers. She adjusted her camera, the red light blinking as she began filming, her voice steady but tight. This is Laura Grayson, at North Haven Asylum, December 14th, 2025. This place was a house of horrors in the 1950s, lobotomies, electroshock, and something called skin therapy, where they peeled the flesh from patients to cleanse them. I'm here to spend the night in Ward 13, where Nurse Edith Crow was killed, her skin stripped by a patient. They say the walls still scream. Let's find out. She moved through the main hall, her flashlight cutting through the darkness, illuminating the remnants of the asylum's past. A rusted wheelchair sat in the corner, its wheels bent, its leather straps cracked and stained with dark splotches. A gurney lay on its side, its metal frame twisted, as if something had tried to break free. The walls were pocked with holes, some small, some large enough to fit a fist, and in one, she found a tooth, yellowed and cracked, embedded in the plaster. She shuddered, her breath hitching, and moved on, her boots echoing in the empty space, the sound swallowed by the oppressive silence. The corridor to Ward 13 was a labyrinth of decay, its walls streaked with black mold, the ceiling sagging under the weight of years of neglect. dripping with icy water that pooled on the floor, reflecting the beam of her flashlight like a mirror. The air grew colder as she walked, her breath visible, her fingers numb even through her gloves, the chill seeping into her bones, a cold that felt alive, hungry. Ward 13 was at the end of the corridor, its door rusted shut, the number 13 painted in faded red, the paint peeling like flayed skin. She pushed the door open, the hinges, screaming in protest, and stepped inside. The room was small, windowless, the walls stained with dark, splotchy patches, the plaster cracked and bulging, as if something had tried to claw its way out. A rusted bed frame sat in the corner, its mattress long gone, replaced by a pile of yellowed papers, patient records, smeared with ink and blood. A single light bulb hung from the ceiling, its glass cracked, its filament long dead, swaying slightly in the draft that seeped through the cracks in the walls. The air was thick, heavy with the scent of decay, and the silence was deafening, broken only by the faint drip of water from the ceiling, each drop hitting the floor with a soft, rhythmic plop. Laura set up her camera on a tripod, the red light blinking, and sat on the floor, her back against the wall, her lantern casting a dim glow across the room. She pulled out her notebook, flipping through her research, her voice low as she narrated. For the camera, Ward 13 was where the worst experiments happened. They called it skin therapy. Doctors believed peeling the skin from patients would free them from their sins, their madness. Most died from infection, shock, or blood loss. Nurse Edith Crow was assigned here in 1958. She was found dead, her skin stripped by a patient or something else. The records are unclear, but the rumors say the walls absorbed the pain, the screams, and now they're alive. She paused, her flashlight sweeping the room, the beam catching the stains, the papers, the shadows that seemed to shift just out of frame. She picked up one of the patient records, its pages brittle, the ink faded but legible. Patient 47, male, 34, admitted 1957, procedure, skin therapy, full epidermal removal, Ward 13, outcome, deceased, infection. Notes, patient reported walls breathing before death. Another record dated a week later, patient 52, female, 28, admitted 1957, procedure, skin therapy, partial removal, Ward 13, outcome, deceased, shock. Notes, patient screamed there, in the walls during procedure. Laura's hands trembled as she set the papers down, her voice shaking as she continued filming. These patients, they weren't just dying from the procedures. They were seeing something, feeling something, in the walls, something that wasn't human. She pulled out a small recorder, pressing play, her voice steady as she read from her notes. Edith Crow's death was the final straw. She was found in this room, her skin peeled off, her body a raw mess. The official report blamed a patient, but the patient was found dead in his cell, his hands clean, no blood, no skin under his nails. Some say Edith did it to herself, driven mad by what she saw in the walls. Others say the walls did it to her. As midnight approached, the temperature plummeted further, the cold seeping into her bones, her breath visible in the dim glow of her lantern. She wrapped her scarf tighter, her fingers numb, her teeth chattering, the chill not just physical, but something deeper, something that crawled under her skin, a cold that felt alive, hungry. She reviewed her footage, the camera's screen casting a faint glow across her face, when she heard it a whisper, soft, rasping, from the walls themselves. Laura, it said, her name stretched into a hiss, the sound slithering through the cracks in the plaster, echoing in the small room, a sound that wasn't just heard but felt, vibrating in her chest, her skull, her bones. She froze, her heart pounding, her flashlight sweeping the room. Nothing, just the shadows, thicker now, pooling in the corners like ink, their edges shifting, stretching, reaching. The whisper came again, louder. Laura, you're here. And she felt it, a tingling on her arms, a burning sensation, like needles pricking her skin, sharp, insistent, growing hotter, deeper. She rolled up her sleeve, her breath catching as she saw it, faint red lines, like scratches, forming on her forearm, moving, curling into shapes, into words. You're next. The scratches deepened, blood welling up, dripping onto the floor, the pain sharp, searing. Her scream caught in her throat as the whispers grew. A chorus now, voices overlapping. Laura, stay. Laura, bleed. The words echoing in her skull. Her skin burning hotter, the scratches spreading, climbing up her arm, across her chest, her neck, her face, each line a blade, carving into her, peeling her apart. She stumbled to her feet, her camera shaking in her hands, the red light still blinking, capturing her terror as she clawed at her skin, trying to stop the burning, the peeling, her nails coming away bloody, her skin coming away in strips, curling like paper in a fire, exposing raw, bloody muscle beneath, the pain blinding, her screams echoing in the room, swallowed by the walls. She grabbed the patient records, her hands trembling, blood smearing the pages, and found Edith's journal, its pages brittle, stained with dark, crusty smears, the writing frantic, spidery, the words of a woman on the edge. They brought me to Ward 13 today, October 3, 1958. The patients scream during the skin therapy. Their flesh comes off in sheets, their blood pools on the floor, and the walls drink it. I swear they do. I see them move at night. The plaster ripples, the stains shift, faces form, eyeless, mouthless, watching me. They whisper my name, Edith. Give us your skin. I can't sleep, can't eat, can't think. The doctors don't believe me. They say I'm mad, but I'm not. The walls took patient 47 last week. His screams stopped, and the next day, his face was in the plaster, his mouth moving, whispering to me. They're in the walls. Their pain, their blood, their souls. The skin of this place is alive. It remembers. It wants more. I hear them at night, their voices in the plaster, their hands in the walls, reaching for me. They'll take me soon. The last entry was a single line, written in a shaky hand. It's peeling me now. Laura's scream tore from her throat, raw, hoarse, as the walls groaned, the plaster cracking, splitting open, revealing a layer beneath, pale, glistening like human skin, stretched tight, pulsing with a slow, rhythmic thump, like a heartbeat, the surface rippling, veins visible beneath, dark and throbbing, the air, thick with the stench of blood and decay. The stains on the walls moved, shifting into shapes, faces, dozens of them, eyeless, mouthless, their features melting into the surface, their whispers louder. Laura, give us your skin. The voices a cacophony, a symphony of pain, of hunger, of rage, echoing in her skull, drowning her thoughts, her sanity, her will. Her skin burned, the scratches, now deep gashes, her flesh peeling back, curling, falling to the floor in bloody strips, exposing muscle, tendon, bone, the pain unbearable, her screams turning to gurgles as blood filled her throat, her body a raw, bleeding mess, her vision blurring, the room spinning, the walls closing in. She tried to run, her boots slipping on the blood-slick floor, her hands clawing at the door, but it wouldn't budge, the handle vanishing under her touch, the wood melding into the wall, the corridor beyond stretching, twisting, the doors vanishing, the walls closing in, their surface rippling, hands forming, from the plaster raw, skinless, their fingers long and jagged, their nails sharp, black, dripping with something dark, something alive, reaching for her, brushing her face, her arms, her legs, their touch like acid, peeling more of her away, the pain blinding, her screams swallowed by the walls, the hands pulling her back, dragging her to the center of the room, pinning her to the floor, her body writhing, her skin coming off in sheets, her bones visible, her blood pooling, soaking into the floor, the walls drinking it, their pulse quickening, their whispers turning to screams. Laura, you're ours. The faces in the walls grew clearer, their mouths opening, revealing teeth made of bone shards, their tongues long, black, licking the air, tasting her blood, their eyes forming, hollow, glowing with a sickly yellow light, staring at her, unblinking. Their voices a chorus. Laura, join us. The hands tightening, their grip like fire, peeling the last of her skin. Her face the last to go, her cheeks peeling back, her lips curling, her eyes wide, her mouth open in a silent scream, the plaster closing over her, sealing her in, her body sinking into the pulsing skin of the wall, her face pressed against the surface, her eyes hollow, her mouth moving, whispering, "Come back, give us your skin." The next morning, a local hiker, 24-year-old Ethan Mills, found the asylum's gate open. Laura's car still parked outside, its engine cold, its windows frosted over. He'd heard the rumors, seen Laura's videos, and thought he'd check the place out, his curiosity outweighing his fear. He stepped inside, the air thick, the silence heavy, his flashlight shaking in his hand as he moved through the main hall. The graffiti on the walls glowing faintly in the dim light, the phrase "the skin remembers" seeming to pulse, to breathe. He reached Ward 13, the door ajar, Laura's camera on the floor, its battery dead, but the footage intact. He played it back, his heart pounding as he watched Laura's descent, her screams, her skin peeling, the hands in the walls, the faces. Her face, the last frame showing her in the wall, her mouth moving, whispering, "Come back, give us your skin." He felt a burning on his arm, looked down, and saw scratches forming, words carving into his fleshier next. He screamed, dropping the camera, the sound echoing in the room, swallowed by the walls, the hands reaching for him, the whispers growing. "Ethan, give us your skin." The asylum alive, hungry, waiting for the next visitor to claim. Days later, Ethan's footage went viral, uploaded by an anonymous account. Laura's screams and his own blending into a haunting chorus. The video ending with a shot of the wall, smooth now, no cracks, no stains, but two faces pressed against the surface, Laura's and Ethan's, their eyes hollow, their mouths moving, whispering, "Come back, give us your skin." North Haven Asylum stood silent, its walls waiting, the skin inside hungry, remembering every scream, every drop of blood, ready for the next soul to claim, its whispers spreading, a call no one could resist, a hunger that would never be sated.